Good morning. My name is Rebecca Rose, and I'm a librarian from the University of North Georgia. During these next 10 minutes, you will hear about the Scholarship of Teaching and Learning, SOTL for short. In particular, I will be advocating for librarians to consider mentoring in SOTL or even starting a SOTL learning community at your institution. As I talk, please type questions in the chat, and there will be a 5-minute Q&A at the end. So a little background. SOTL's origins are found in Boyer's 1990 seminal work, Scholarship Reconsidered, and it is considered a meta-discipline. SOTL is the ongoing study of learning about teaching and the demonstration of teaching knowledge. So why are librarians perfectly suited for mentoring in SOTL? SOTL research typically creates challenges for faculty. Their educational background and training focuses on sources within their discipline. SOTL lies outside of their disciplinary expertise. Currently, no database devoted to SOTL exists. Relevant sources for their SOTL research can be difficult to uncover. Librarians have the expertise to navigate the scholarly literature across the disciplines. We are perfectly positioned to guide faculty to relevant SOTL sources, as this is part of what we do every day. Librarians are used to being confronted with questions on unfamiliar topics, and we possess the skill set to adapt and adjust as necessary to assist a variety of information seekers. Many librarians already incorporate SOTL practices without even realizing it. Librarians publishing and presenting about teaching techniques in their library instruction are practicing SOTL. It starts with noticing that students pay more attention when you use Kahoot, or when you want to assess whether a technique you use in a research consultation impacts learning, or any phenomena that impacts learning that you notice during teachable moments. Most of us register when something works to use for future instruction, so we can be better instructors. SOTL requires that you take these observations and turn it into a research question, then design and implement a formal study. Anytime you involve humans before collecting data, your study needs reviewed by an institutional review board. Some quantitative methods of data collection in the classroom can be using a quiz, a 1-minute paper, or a questionnaire. And qualitative data collection can include close observations, reflective analysis, feedback from an instructor, or a focus group. Mixed methods approaches collects data from more than one method type. Peter Felton, there are 5 key components to SOTL. It is focused on student learning, grounded in both scholarly and local context, methodologically sound, conducted in partnership with students, and involves going public with your findings. And going public can mean both presenting and publishing. So McClurg, McMillan, and Chick identified 4 key areas where librarians can engage with faculty in SOTL. The consultant role occurs when offering guidance and locating sources, or suggesting keywords or databases, or creating an online guide. Developers work with their institution's professional teaching and learning centers or within academic departments as research specialists. Librarians are partners when they team with other faculty in either design or implementation of a research project. We become scholars when we act as sole or lead researchers who investigate observed phenomena, whether in the classroom, reference interviews, research consultations, or other student interactions. Presenting or publishing the findings is the key component to scholarship. I highly recommend this article for a more in-depth description of these roles and for inspiration on how you might become more involved in practicing SOTL. So let me tell you about my involvement with SOTL, which began 6 years ago. In 2014, the University of North Georgia started a SOTL Academy hosted by our Center for Teaching and Learning and Leadership. At the time, I was embedded in 3 freshman second semester English comp classes. The professor and I together developed an 8-week-long assignment that involved high-impact practices. Students read a detective novel based in a third world country then in groups, research for images related to the cultural references from the book. Students were to critically analyze the images as to their validity and relevance. The images were used for public presentations in public areas of the college. We noticed how the assignment engaged the students to a remarkable degree as they researched in class. The professor and I were amazed at how the students loved researching for images. We applied to the Sodal Academy because we felt this classroom experience was a good fit with Sodal. Also, we hoped to publish about how the assignment affected student learning, and the Academy promised to provide guidance on the publishing process. During the Sodal Academy sessions, the opportunity to offer library guidance kept popping up organically. Other participants in the Academy would share their struggles with locating resources, and of course, I would suggest tips and search strategies and so forth. So for one of the Academy retreats, I was invited to present a library instruction geared to locating Sodal resources. Subsequently, the Academy leaders saw the need for a librarian mentor in the program. So at their invitation, I continued my participation with the UNG Sodal Academies to this day in a mentor role. So also in 2016, the University System of Georgia rolled out a Sodal Fellows program. The application process was competitive, and those selected received a $500 stipend. For the program, I served as a librarian mentor for 3 fellows cohorts, with participants from higher ed institutions throughout Georgia. The fellows meetings utilized a virtual model where we met for an hour once a month using WebEx. As a mentor, I attended all the meetings and facilitated when needed. During the sessions, I would listen to the participants talk about their research. When a title was mentioned or recommended, I would feed them links to the items in Gill Universal using the chat box. I would suggest keywords, search strategies in chat, or email it if it related specifically to their research. Some of the participants still email me, even after their fellows program ended, asking about search terms to use for new research projects. Some of these folks are from R1 institutions that have their own excellent subject specialists, which illustrates how specializing in Sodal and participating in learning communities can generate fruitful professional relationships with research faculty that might not have occurred otherwise. Each year, the cohort would meet face-to-face at least twice. With the first meeting, everyone attended the Teaching and Learning Conference held in April, and the last meeting had the cohort give presentations on their research projects. Spring of 2019 saw the end of the USG Fellows Program, and the responsibility for forming Sodal groups now rests on each USG institution. This happened at least one institution. This last February, a former fellow asked me to present a virtual Sodal library instruction for her university's new startup Sodal group. So now I want to find out your involvement with Sodal. So does your university or institution offer or support any kind of Sodal group? And the answers are yes, no, or don't know. So if you can respond on the poll. I'm not seeing any responses, so.
This is my fault. For some reason, it's not allowing folks to click on responses. So let me, okay, show responses. Is it allowed? Okay, we can?
No.
Oh, okay. Let me relaunch this. Sorry, folks. This must be a, okay, what about now? Oh my, I'm so sorry, folks. This is, I'm gonna clear all responses. Polling. We had it working yesterday. Let's see. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, sorry. Someone was getting it to work. So I think you should be able to work now.
Yeah, it briefly shows the poll, then goes away.
Mm. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a temporary setback. Oh, okay.
my,
Okay.
my 10 minutes are ticking away.
Oh, wait, I figured it out. Sorry, folks. I'm hiding the responses, and once y'all vote, I'll show the responses.
Okay, I can do it now. Hooray, Christina. Okay, so is everybody everybody that wanted to respond responding? We're showing less than half of you responding. Okay, so 8 of you do have SOTL at your institution, and 2 of you say no, and 7 don't know, which, or actually there's more than half of you responding. So that's something that I hope that you can, I hope that you can go ahead and investigate that at your institution, and perhaps go ahead and maybe get involved, because that's how I got started, and I had never heard of it until the faculty invited me to be part of this with her, and it really changed my whole career from that point going forward. So now we have a second poll that we want you to respond. And are you or anyone in your library involved in SOTL? So maybe you knew about SOTL being at your institution, but is anybody that in your library involved with SOTL? About 2 years ago, I expanded and invited librarians on each of our campuses. We have 4 campuses with libraries out of at our institution at University of North Georgia, and we got some of them involved in the academy so that they could be mentors on each. There could be a mentor on each campus. So and that's coming to a conclusion. They also enrolled in the academy, and it's a 2-year academy now. When I was in it, it was 1 year. But so we're showing that 7 of you have librarians involved in the academy, 4 say no, and 4 don't know. Of course, we don't know what all of our librarians are doing all the time, but that's very interesting to me to know that. So for our final slide, and thank you, Christina, for doing the poll. I just want to talk a little bit more about the benefit of becoming a SOTL mentor and how it can contribute greatly to your professional growth. You get to present about your activities, your SOTL activities at teaching and research conferences, and some of these conferences that really welcome SOTL activities are the USG Teaching and Learning Conference, the Georgia International Conference on Information Literacy, there's the Georgia Educational Research Association, Atlanta Area Bibliographic Instruction Group, and there's more. There you can publish in peer-reviewed SOTL journals and book chapters. They are always looking for instruction, just your research, and it isn't as daunting as you might think it would be. It's actually an exciting process. You can share your experiences of going through the IRB process with colleagues. Colleagues are always looking for tips or inside somebody who can help walk them through that, and it's good to be in that position of being able to help others. You can promote SOTL to other librarians, and there's learning communities that can build faculty partnerships, as I described earlier, as what happened to me. So now in the chat box, I'd like you to share ideas on how you could take an active role in SOTL. This could be in the role of consultant, developer, partner, or scholar, or you can share how you might already be participating in SOTL. So I'd like to hear, because 7 of you said you are active in SOTL at your institution. I should have been like Jen and had some music while you're all typing. I'm curious to know if any of you are active in an academy, perhaps, or if you're doing SOTL support as answering reference questions. So Christina said she just sent a SOTL project to the IS newsletter on building institutional assessment into teaching activities. Mike is participating by running a faculty learning community oh, that's awesome, Mike. So you're running it. That's fantastic. I think I'm happier in the mentor role rather than running it. I applaud you for taking that initiative. Is there anything else anybody's wanting to open up about with their activity? Yes, I can imagine that it's a lot of work to facilitate one. So I have hit my 15 minutes that was allotted for my session. So I thank the organizers for allowing me to talk about SOTL and promote it. And if anybody wants to contact me about SOTL or getting involved in SOTL, please email me. I don't have my email on here, but it's rebecca.rose@ung.edu, and I look forward to hearing from you. So thank you very much.
Hey, folks, thank you all for sticking with us today. I'm going to leave this slide up for just a few seconds so that you're interested in grabbing any of these citations or sources, you can. I'm definitely interested in a few. At 11 o'clock, we're going to be starting our breakout sessions. So I'd like you all to just make sure to be back here a few minutes before 11, and that way I can kind of preview the breakout process for y'all so it doesn't feel startling. Essentially, you will be placed into a mini room, and then you can voice chat, which is a lot more fun than just text chatting, in my opinion. Okay, and with that, I'm going to mute myself. And if you do have any questions that you want to chat in to Rebecca, she might be able to answer them in these last, couple of break minutes. Okay.